guys, welcome to another episode of The Ali Show, and today we have a very special guest, Mr. Carlos Ulberg, professional MMA fighter, former King in the Ring champion, two-time champion, man, the list goes on. Anyway, Carlos, brother, how are you?
Good, thank you, brother.
How's your day been?
Awesome, Ali. Thank you.
Understand
bro,
you've had
first of all, bro, I actually the whole time I thought you were Fijian, bro, until I asked you earlier.
Yeah, I think I get that quite a bit. A lot of the boys ask me that.
Because I think a lot of Fijians that I know I used to play rugby with as well. Very positive people. You're a very positive person. Not even just here, but like outside of the when we're training and stuff.
I've met a few of them as well, and they always seem to be very happy, cheerful, and
I think that's where
positive.
I kind of got my thing from as well, and the fact you look Fijian too.
I know, but
what's this though? As
the beard,
religious or anything?
Man, it's like it is encouraged, bro. But I think there was a period where I grew out the beard, and it just kind of stuck with me, bro. I like the look, you know. Like I've never, like when I was younger and all that, I've never really kept the beard. And then when I kept it, like I don't know, maybe it's age, maybe I don't know. I mean, religious point of view, it is encouraged as well to have a beard, but I don't know, maybe it makes you wiser.
You're in the MMA scene now. When you look at a lot of the MMA fighters, a lot of them do have the same beard and the shave here. Is that right?
The stash as well?
Yeah. Oh, well, they have that shaved as well.
Oh, yeah.
I think the guy that I'm fighting next, he's got the same thing. He's got the beard here and he's got...
But I saw his photo, and in that photo, there was a huge flat top as well.
Yeah. he's about Junior Far's height, bro. So
really?
he's quite long. I think he's one of the longer...
taller guys
longer reach in the UFC. So... he's very long, and
that'll be pretty interesting too. We'll get to the UFC the upcoming fight in a while. I would like to talk about that as well. That'll be pretty cool. But anyway, you've I said you had a quite a gruesome training session today, which is the infamous spider.
The spider, man. The thing spider. That by let's say by Thursday after. After Wednesday night, it's like, okay, we've done a hard session on Wednesday night. And then I'm like, okay, I'm already thinking about Sunday, which is a spider, because it's like, okay, Wednesday's done, but I'm already thinking about Sunday. But the thing is, like, the way I like to put it now is, since I've been doing the spider, is throughout the weeks, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it's because the Sunday is like a simulated fight, right? Leading up to the Sunday, you're working hard as you can, and then that's conditioning you for the spider. So
spider session.
Everything is like we're working hard, so that you're conditioned for the Sunday, which is our simulator for the fight, right?
Wow.
So that's how I've been putting it as of late.
And in that for those who don't know what the spider is about, like, tell us, in your experience, what is a spider about?
Right. Well, bro, without giving out too much information, it's basically a simulator of a fight. We're getting beaten up for the amount of rounds that we're doing in our fight. So I'm doing 3 5-minute rounds, and I'm basically doing the kinds of workouts that we'll be doing, or kinds of situations that we've been put in an MMA fight. And we're not getting let off very easily. And it's very good to have fresh guys who come in and
full of energy
put you down on your butt, and then you'll have to try and fight it. In a fight, you may not have the guys
going
your
easy
opponents
on you.
Your opponents going easy on you, and also won't have that amount of energy at the time. But when you're fighting through this with your teammates, that's what's gonna help you through the fight that you're preparing for, right?
Man, so that's awesome. What a better, I couldn't imagine a better way of preparing yourself for a fight where you're gonna go to war.
I know, man.
Yeah. Anyway, Carlos, for those who, man, I'm pretty sure almost everybody who's going to watch this already knows who you are. But for those who don't, how would you give like a brief introduction about yourself?
Brief introduction. Carlos Ulberg. Carlos Ulberg. What's up?
There's a punchline there. Carlos Ulberg, go find out who I am.
Okay. So I grew up in South Auckland, with many of us in South Auckland or in New Zealand grew up with the mentality of, I want to be an All Black. So I grew up playing rugby union, playing rugby at school, and playing all sorts of sports actually. So throughout my times of school, I played basketball, volleyball, touch rugby, softball. I did everything to join any of those sport groups in my school, for my school, and represent my school. So I think that all led to me in my athleticism now, and as along with not staying inside watching TV, I would prefer to climb trees, be outside in nature, throw the ball around, play catch by myself or something like that. So I enjoyed a lot of my time outdoors. And
hey, you, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video. How did you get the energy, Carlos, to get involved in all that stuff?
All that stuff? Oh man, honestly,
what were you
think
guys,
it's just the luck of the draw. God created us all just differently, man. But I'm fortunate, grateful that I'm who I am, and I am always grateful for the abilities that I have, man. So I'm lucky enough that, well, I guess I tend to burn my energy very quickly. So I got a very high metabolism, quick metabolism. So I don't know how that all comes into play and why and what, but I think I guess it just makes everything easy. It just I have a very good gene pool, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. I think like that's the thing. It's you always see all the Islander boys, like they always have this, talents and skills, and they just seem to be doing it easier than everybody else. But the other thing that I think people need to understand as well, that you guys work hard, very hard. Like it just having talent is another.
Yep.
But if you don't put that hard work, that talent's of no use.
100%. Yeah.
And that's like people. I think sometimes people get like jealous. It's human nature, but they don't really look at the whole picture. They break it up and dissect all these little things and find out what you guys are doing. But if there's anything I know from all the poly boys, Islander boys that I've met, is these guys, like you guys work hard, to get where you are. But I just want to go back a little bit. And you were saying you playing rugby and all of that.
Yeah.
I understand you played in rugby league and all that for a while. Tell us about that. Period.
Well, like I said, we all wanted to be All Blacks when we were younger. I played rugby for a bit. I represented, I started with something we call the Walter Dixon and Roller Mills. And that's where I started to see myself wanting to be an All Black and seeing that I could actually be an All Black as a youngster. So I played for a couple of years. I did very well at it. And then I wanted something different. And then I went into volleyball. And from to volleyball, where I met quite a few other good friends, and I was taken under the wing by a good friend, Messi Sachu, who took me under his wing. Shout out Messi, who took me under his wing as a volleyball player. I started playing for school, and then joined his club called the Players, and they were one of the best at the time, representing New Zealand, representing Auckland, and playing nationals and doing really well as well. So I played volleyball at school and for the club as well. Wow. So and I did pretty well at it. With playing that, I built a lot of athleticism around there, being able to use my height and my jump and all that sort of thing. So yeah.
Were you always a tall kid, or?
Bro, I only started growing I started growing just after intermediate school. I told one of my best friends at the time, Joel, who I was walking home after school. I said, bro, next year I'm gonna be taller than you. By the time it came next year, I was taller than him. So I think I just grew within the space of 2 months very quickly. Wow. Very quickly. So I wasn't very tall until I went into college. And then I started growing very quickly. Very quickly. Where it was my height and my build started to build. So when I was younger, I was a small, skinny fella who couldn't save himself for anything. But then, but I was a very athletic kid as well at the same time. So yeah, bro, coming out from South, playing rugby every day. It's rough. We're playing on the streets,
and
playing
like,
on the concrete.
You know, being in rugby and all that, like, was it a thing that you have to be huge? You'd have to bulk up.
Oh, bro.
And
man, so when you're playing at school, we're playing on the concrete, man. And then like this is almost like what's that game where rush? What's that one? Bull rush. So it's kind of like bull rush, but we're all playing against the form. What is it? Year 13s. We're year 11s at the time. We're challenging the year 13s, and we're going hard at them. So it's like 100 guys on the field with the ball, like running it straight up, getting smashed. So we had to hold our own at the time, and we backed each other up. Like it was year levels versus year levels. That's how it went in South Auckland where I grew up. So you had to be big at some point, but you had to be strong. And I think for myself, everyone knew that I was. Well, actually, only a selected few knew that I knew how to fight at the time.
Okay.
I could always hold my own. And this all led back to another story going back in primary school, which I'll tell you about later.
Okay.
But yeah, bro, you definitely had to be big, and just to make sure you were able to hold yourself when you jumped into the rugby.
Wow, that's a pretty tough environment, because like when you're fighting against the other levels as well, you're always disadvantaged, being the younger guys, because these guys have had the experience and they probably learned their lessons, and they're trying to bulk up as well.
We had some really, really tough guys in our year level as well who could smash those guys in the year 13s, bro. Honestly, so we backed each other up, and if anyone in the year 13s tried to pick up on any one of our guys, we'd all just jump in like, nah, you leave us alone, So we took over, man.
Is that loyalty that year?
Well, because 100%, because we all come up together. We all come up from like close around the same school, intermediate, and then we all knew each other. So we're like, okay, we're going to college next year. We need to look after each other.
Exactly.
And then
you gotta be the meat. You gotta be the meat.
And in Otawa, you had to, in Otawa, bro. So you had to look after yourself. You had to look after each other.
Mates as well. Yeah.
And actually, when I went into Hillary College from intermediate, I had some beef with some guy who, some guy who I don't know. I don't know what happened. I walked past, we shoulder bars each other, and he was in college. I was in intermediate. Turned around, I walked up to him, and he just decked me, and I was like, oh. Got a massive cut on my lip, and then I didn't do anything. I just stood there like, oh, okay. I just walked off. I was like, I'm not messing with this guy. and then I went into the school, and then I was like, oh, okay, I better just walk the other way with this guy. So.
Probably, man. I think if he bumps into you today, it might be the other way around. He might not want to get into a confrontation there, man. You know who you are, but anyway, talking about, you said you had the story about back in primary, was it?
I had okay, so the story back in primary school. So when I was in East Tamaki Primary, so there was a big group of us, a few of us, and I know Charlie, if you're here listening, he's the trainer for us at CKB. I haven't seen him in a while, but and Johnny Vake knows him as well from Otawa. A few of us, there's about a good 30 of us who'd we were troubled kids who just wanted some extra fun after school,
Yeah. Extra fun is how you call it.
Bit of curriculums after school. So every time after school, we'd gather up together. We'd do something, get up to mischief. And at some point we formed a big fight club.
Oh,
a massive fight club, and there was about 15 on 15, bro. It was just one-on-one. So it was one-on-ones, but there was like big groups of 15 and 15 on this side. And on each day, you'd swap if you wanted to. So if swap teams, they'd just go, oh, you on this side, you on this side, whatever.
Okay, yeah.
It was just like a rugby game, but it was a fight, one-on-ones. And
bare knuckle
fights, bro. And this is where I started to fight. This is everything. This is where I started. Everything started from this point.
The story is very similar to a lot of people can relate.
Bro, well, this is where I started, because we formed a big fight club I even had cousins on the other team.
Wow.
Who I was lucky I didn't get to fight them because it was just like I'm not gonna. And I actually lived with my cousins at the time too, but we were just like swearing at each other like stop it, and get into a 1-on-1 with some other guys. And but that was so cool because that brought our adrenaline up. That kept us away from doing other things. You know what I mean? But we do so many other things like just play rugby, go play at the pool where we're not supposed to be there. That's where all my fighting stemmed from. That's where I knew I could take a punch. That's where I figured out that, oh damn, I've got some hands. My dad used to be a boxer. Ooh. And because I used to go and visit him every second weekend from here. So I'll go visit him and I'll be like, oh dad, I got into a fight and I beat this guy. And he's like, son, don't be yeah, but I fought it now. Just trying to impress him and stuff like that. But
trying to build that connection.
But I think that's where it all stemmed from, and that's where I start to build my confidence and being able to fight, being able to take a punch, being able to hold myself, man. And I cried a lot. That's for sure, because I fought some big guys at the time too.
I would imagine.
I cried a lot. I didn't lose very much. I think I've only lost.
So okay, how did the fight go? Is there a amount of time, or is it till somebody gets dropped?
I think it's until someone gives up. So
wow.
I remember one fight where we're just hammering at each other, and one of my mates is fighting his brother, and then we end up swapping. We're like, okay, you go to him. So I ended up swinging at this other guy, and he's taking him, and then he ended up crying and bleeding at the center. And so he was like, nah, he walked off. And that was it. It was just like that. That's it. Okay. It's just if you cry and you're bleeding. You're bleeding. I think once you see you're bleeding, you start crying. Yeah. Once you see you're bleeding, that's how I lost my fight. I started bleeding, and I was like, "What?" This little guy, like this guy that I fought, small dude, at one time, and he just cracked me, and I was like, "What?" I started crying. I started crying, bro. So I left that fight, but I think that was the second time that I never really came back to a fight.
And you know what's the funny part about all this is, like, you're all fighting each other, but then you're all still mates after that. And the next day you're all back again and doing the same thing again.
Playing rugby or something, just doing something stupid, going to the pools, hanging out, just
boys having fun.
Graffiti.
Well, man, if you think about it, like, man, I personally, I feel that it would be so much better to be doing that rather than like maybe you're going out, getting involved doing stuff that will get you like in real trouble.
100%.
In trouble with the law or whatever it might be. Yeah. That's way better, bro. Yeah. Only thing was it would have been better to have gloves. That would be for starters. That would be way better to have gloves. Yeah. But man, that's that's a pretty cool.
Have you done something? I'm sure you would have. You tell me something else. You can't get away with telling me some of your fight stories. Bro.
Some of the interesting ones, like how you wouldn't. I think you wouldn't be. Certain situations with your friends, you'd have spars with your friends. Yeah. Same thing, bare knuckle and that crap. But then there were where we were from, our schools, we had a little bit of rules. So like no face. Sometimes some people it's like, okay, I don't want no face. So just body or whatever. Or sometimes they say, okay, is this boxing or kickboxing or whatever, no legs, or they'll make rules as you go. And so there were times where you'd fight till somebody's dropped. And like sometimes that can go on for a while. Yeah. That one's the crazy ones. And then there were times where we probably shouldn't be encouraging this, but we were probably smoking at that time and all that. So somebody would smoke a cigarette, so you'd be fighting for as long as that cigarette lasted.
Oh wow!
So that's a fight. How long a cigarette lasts. And if someone wants to be a dick, they'll just wait, bro. And that's what they do. Like if they don't like you, or it depends who you're fighting, and like. You're not always as lucky sometimes. Like these people might hate you or whatever, and you might be a few of your boys, and like there was huge numbers of them. If they're holding the cigarette, it's gonna take a while.
True. Wow.
So there was like all these little things, and there were times where like even if you've been dropped, if you hurt, like they'll wait for you to come up and carry on.
Yes, but so a bit of respect there where you're not...
Yeah, you're not being hit on the ground. So they'll wait for you to come up. Once you're back up, carry on.
Yeah, and this is in Singapore, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
True, so, there was all... And like, like what you said yourself, there was a period where you was quite small, and there was a period that I was really small as well. So all my friends would usually be taller, bigger, wider than me, and all that sort of stuff. So like sometimes, when in situations where you had a group of boys, another group of boys, and like, okay, this guy wants to fight somebody, and they want to pick somebody to fight with, I'll be always the guy they pick because I was the smaller guy.
Yeah, I get it.
But then the screwed up part about that is like, out of like me and my group of friends, that I was the one who really knew how to fight more than these other boys, bro.
Yeah.
So chances are, although they're bigger than me, I usually just fight them anyway. And chances are, they, I know my way around not getting like beaten up and landing and not getting hit.
Yeah.
So I think I picked. There was a certain stage where, like, I was always the smaller kid, bro. And in the beginning, I always got the heavier end of the punishment, bro.
Awesome.
So I always got like and then after a while, I was like, man, I kept getting like beat up. I kept getting, it's like smashed hard by this bigger boy. It's like, I'm small. I know. How can I use this to my advantage? What can I do? I'm faster. I can move a little bit more quicker. And like all these little things, I started to piece things together, and I used it to my advantage, and because like that's as a someone who's smaller, and it's not like, you talk about professional fighting, you have weight classes and all of that. That's awesome because you're fighting with a guy who's the same size as you. But back then, there's no rules, bro. It's jungle out there, man. Like they just fight whoever they want.
Where does that stem from then? Like, do you have family that would have been fighters as well?
Man,
because you train now, you train do boxing with some of the team here.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like back then, I don't know. Like my family, not really. My brothers were into my second brother, he was like into rock climbing and all that sort of stuff. But I think out of like my siblings, I was probably like the one who liked to fight and all that stuff. They were not into all of that. But I don't know, maybe it's just like the group of people that you were with, and it was, maybe it's the environment, the location of like the schools, the area, and I went to a school in a pretty ghetto area there as well. So like that's the kind of area where you kind of have to look after yourself, like nobody's gonna help you, you're not gonna, no teacher or whoever principal is gonna help you.
Exactly.
Like, it's like this, it's like street rules kind of thing. So I think that was where it kind of built that in me. Like you had to take care of yourself. And similar to what you experienced as well. But anyway, enough about that. My stories. There's way too many stories. We'll get into that some other time. But so Carlos, from so from rugby and all that, how did that switch into combat sports? Or when did it?
Yeah. So after volleyball, for a couple of years I was playing, and I needed something more fulfilling. And that's when I went to rugby union to play club at this time. And then, rugby league. And I was playing for a good 3 years or so for Otahu Leopards. And this one time, I was doing pretty well. I played for counties as well. But this one time, I played a game against Howick, and a lot of the guys here who are watching this, who will know this, where there was a televised fight, and I ended up breaking some knees in a fight. So this fight broke loose, massive fight on the field where everyone just jumped in, and I went in and I was throwing knees because at the time I was learning some MMA. I was learning MMA, so I went in and I was just throwing knees, but everyone was throwing haymakers, dropping each other, and I went in, but in my defense, I was actually trying to break up some other, like a little guy, not Lenati, if you're watching this. I was trying to break him up with this other guy, bigger guy. So I was trying to break his hands loose with my knees, honestly. Because he was right. There was both of them. And I was just breaking his hands loose. He was a bigger guy against one of our smaller dudes. And then I got 6 weeks suspension for that. and everyone else got clean. Like everyone was punching, smashing, dropping people, and I didn't do. I just breaking. I just looked because it looked different. on television as well.
Oh, it's the angle, bro.
It's the angle, bro.
It's the angle.
It's the angles. It just looked bad. I think it just looked very, very bad. I mean, I can't throw a knee right now, but I, ended up throwing knees in a rugby league game. And then when I got because that was the year where I thought, okay, I'm gonna make it this year. I'm gonna trial for the Warriors. I'm gonna do this, and this is what's gonna happen. I'll make the finals, and then I'll have people watching me. But after that, I got sent off for 6 weeks, and that was that was terrible for me, bro. I ended up going to jujitsu. They sent me my 6 weeks, and I ended up crying. I was like, man, please, I'll get whatever it is that I need to do. I said, nah, you're gonna have 6 weeks off, and I was like, I was
that's 6 weeks. Is like
tormented, bro, and that was my dream gone. And I was like, okay, if I'm not gonna do this in rugby league and make it, I'm gonna try and make the use of. So I started training during that 6 week. I started training more, and in boxing, I started turning up more to trainings with another guy named Joe Ulberg.
Oh,
now Joe Ulberg, same last name as me. He's family member who I only just met at the time, and he gave me the keys. Me and my cousin, the keys to his gym, Green Bay Boxing Gym, and he said, if you ever want to train, you come. You just use this gym whenever you want. So for a good year or so, I fought under him. I had a couple fights. I trained whenever I wanted to, me and my cousin, and I was so happy that he gave me the keys, man, because I needed somewhere to train. I needed to, hit the bag and get loose, and I used that place, and I used it very well. And then he introduced to me. He realized that I think he's seen a bit of potential in me. And he knew that I had the fire, and I told him my aspirations and where I wanted to be. So he said, okay, he couldn't really look after me in that sense, because the level that I wanted to go to was a bit higher than his capabilities, because he had work, he had kids and stuff like that. So he introduced me to Lolo Hemuli. We had coffee, and I will not forget this, because I walked into the gym, and I seen Hemi, Licky, Sam Rapira. They were all sparring, and I looked. I was looking around. Okay, I'll suss them out. Like, okay, yeah. Hemi. I looked at Hemi, and I didn't know him at the time. I was just like, oh yeah, I could take that guy. Yeah, all good. He's a lot smaller than me, bro. When I had my first sparring with that guy, I swear, man, that guy can smack. He can hit. He's got the most
heavy puncher.
The Heat. They call him the Heat for a reason, bro.
Hemi the Heat.
But you know what? That taught me so much, and I'm so thankful that Lola put me in with Hemi so much, because I needed to learn my inside. I was trying to hop around like Muhammad Ali, and that's because he was Muhammad Ali. I looked up to him, and I was trying to move around, and then Hemi would just come in and boom, 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 and I'm like, oh wow, if I'm gonna be sparring this guy, I need to learn my wall to what do you call it? Form the wall, which Lola would call. And then from there, my inside game became a lot better. And from then, man, I started to give up rugby league, and I said, okay, I won't come back this season. I'm gonna continue, or start my journey with boxing. And then there you have it, bro. I started boxing, and yeah,
City. That was that Balmoral Liga or City Liga?
Balmoral Liga under City Boxing. So we were training at City Boxing, but it was still under Lolo Hemuli's Balmoral Liga.
Man, Lolo Hemuli, definitely one of the legends in the fight sport in New Zealand, which we've had him on. We've had the pleasure to do a podcast with him, and
100%.
that man has so much, so much wisdom, so many stories, and there's just so much. And I like how he's like a true martial artist, as they call it. Like
he studies the game.
He studies the game. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Well, another quick little tip on Lolo is his bag. He was the very first person to ever wear that bag, and everyone else is wearing the bag. Though I think I got the
role model.
I started wearing the bag after him.
Yeah.
So I seen he was wearing the bag. Everyone in the UFC, because I used to travel with him sometimes with Mark Hunt and stuff, and everyone used to ask. That was the thing. What is in your bag? why have you got this bag? Everyone used to ask that. And then from that trip on, I just started wearing the bag too. I was like, okay, I'm going to wear this bag. It's pretty cool. It's actually quite handy because he's got all his medicine.
Yeah,
in there.
you
He's
got all your
everything.
stuff in there. It's
Everything.
easy to access.
And now you see everyone's wearing that, bro.
and that's that's funny. Like people, I have one of those like Gregory. It's like a Gregory bag, and then you can chuck all your stuff into your wallet, and it's just easy to access, bro. You just bring that wherever. I don't have to shove like so much stuff in my wallet. And bro, and you know what I mean. Like sometimes we carry you want to carry a bottle of water or like some stuff. You gotta have a bag that you can shove the stuff in.
Everything
you
else.
can't be carrying 10 things in our hands, man. You know,
because you tend to lose everything. I lose my keys all the time, bro. So
after I had that bag, I never lost anything. I can't remember the last time I lost anything.
Yeah, true.
It's just so handy, and you know, like you have people who joke around about it, like, oh, you know, you're carrying around your fanny pack, whatever. Yeah. And then, bro, you go out together and like, hey, bro, can you hold on to my wallet for me? What do you mean, bro?
100%, bro. Yes.
Now you want the fanny pack. Oh man, but yeah. So Belmore Liga, you know, and you kind of went further, and you mentioned a little bit about like traveling with Lolo. Going to corner like the boys in the UFC, and at that time would be Mark Hunt. Yeah, and I don't know if you've heard it or I mean that I would imagine you wouldn't like go out and talk about this stuff because that's just not how it goes. Yeah. But there was an interview that Mark Hunt did recently, and he was talking about your debut on the Dana White Contender Series. Oh, yeah. And Mark Hunt was telling about how he was telling his views on you and all that. And he said like people really need to look out for this guy. You know, he did a camp with you. You were helping him for his camp or whatever, and you actually broke his nose. Oh, yeah. Leading up to the fight, he told everyone that.
That was sad. That was sad. Nah, you know what happened, man? He's sparring us like it's just like Spider, right? So he's sparring us, and you know we're swapping over like a Shark Tank basically. And I ended up just a quick two straight to his nose, and then he's tired obviously, you know, and it starts bleeding. But then what happens after that is Saw the Hulk ends up going on top as well, starts hitting him. But nah, yeah, he was so tired, bro. And
fatigue kicks in. Yeah. And it's not maybe it could have been like while you were throwing, he was coming in as well.
That's exactly how it happened. It was your fault, Mark. It was your fault. Yeah, he's lovely, man.
How's that experience?
The camps, bro, honestly, man, he is the most amazing guy ever. And one day I'll repay him, and I hope that we'll all get together again. The groups that he's organized for us, he sent myself, Bam Bam, the Tafa Brothers, Shelby. We all went over together, and we had camps over in Australia. He'd pay for everything, and on top of that, he'd make sure he'd give us some money to support, you know, so that we could support ourselves back home and over there as well. And he did that. I think I went on about 7 or 8 of his camps, bro. Wow. And every single one of them he'd organized.
Look after the boys.
He looked after the boys, man. And man, he did it. He just openly did everything for us.
He just treated you guys like family, yeah, bro. And that's like, man, that's so awesome to, you know, usually fighters, they don't talk about this stuff, you know, but when, you know, you yourself being part of that and you sharing what he's done, that's awesome, you know, like you look after your Samoan, your Islander boys, you know, like your boys who, I think obviously when he looks at all of you guys, like his younger brothers, you know, like, and he sees and supports and he understands you guys have this goal and you want to get there and he wants to help, man, how
well, when you have someone like that who does something like that for you, it gives you more reason. So now I can't sit here and be like, okay, I'm done with fighting. I'm gonna go and pursue something else now, because someone like that who has invested their time to do that for you, you can't just walk away from that. And that's the same as your coaching. You know what I mean? Like you can't just drop everything. If someone's gonna invest their time coaching you, you can't just drop everything and be like, okay, I'm done with that and I'll just go on to do this and that. So that's helped us all, like the Tafa Brothers, Bam Bam and myself. We've all now developed and gotten better and realized that, oh wow, this is he basically got us ready for now, for this time now. and he's given us a stepping stone. He's given us a template to work off. This is how you should hold yourself. Expect this without telling us, without saying, hey, this is how you should be. It's just showing us how things are done. And now I'll try to implement all this sort of thing from rugby. I'm also wanting to implement a lot of the things that I learned from rugby into the fight scene as well, because rugby, you learn so much as a team and doing things as a team that you can also now put into the fight scene, or in this team, City Kickboxing as well, or just my own personal habits as well. So yeah,
that's pretty cool. And so then you started off with boxing, and you had a number of professional fights.
Yep.
How many? What's the total number of boxing fights?
Bro, I honestly,
You
like, I think
now.
once it got past like 10, I think I just
lost
stopped.
track.
Because I was fighting lots of corporate fights, and then that's when this was under Green Bay Boxing. And then that's when he realized, okay, you should stop doing all these corporate fights now. You're better than that. You can try to go professional. But even before that, while I was still playing rugby, my very first fight was an MMA professional fight.
Really?
Pro MMA fight.
Wow.
That was my very first fight ever. But that's with no training. No gym at all. And that's with me and my little brother playing the UFC game, saying, okay, we'll try this, we'll try that. And I did that for 3 fights. three MMA fights.
Wow.
And then I was like, okay, I think I like this. I won't forget this time my cousin says to me, who I'm very close with, and I'm the closest with him, Greg. He says, Carlos, I think this is your thing. Like he's known me in my sport career, basketball, volleyball, rugby league. Never said anything like that with this, but he knows that I was good at those. But he said, Carlos, I think this is your thing. This is what you're good at, man. You're gonna be good at this. Do it. And then from there, I just never stopped, bro. But because of the MMA, I was like, okay, I'm a bit rusty with all this. I'm winning, but I don't know how I'm winning. I'm just going with the flow. That's just how I am as a fighter. Even to now, it's not very technical, but everything is a flow and the movement and just going with whatever I think at the time.
It just comes to your mind and you feel like it
at the moment. So yeah, bro.
And this was the one that I think Eugene was telling us about this as well, because he told us that you have had a number of MMA fights previously, but there was a little bit of issues trying to get it on the official record.
Yeah.
Because there was no, it happened in some rugby club or some community club somewhere, so there's no official record or videos. But he said there was some. There was there's videos of it, like you in the ring and fighting, and
there's a couple. Even in China, there's some in China too.
Yeah.
But the ones in China, it's very hard to get because you have to have some sort of channel in China. But you can't just type on it, because I don't think they work with Google and stuff over in China. So you have to find this specific this channel in China. I've watched it a couple times and I can't find it again because I need to have this particular. I've forgotten it. I don't know what the channel was.
Is it like in Chinese characters?
You
have to
yeah.
Man, how do you type that? Or
I got it sent to me. I got a link sent to me, but I tried to find it again, but I couldn't find it.
Yeah,
I think I don't know who's going to be able
It's
to
interesting
find
you mentioned about China. I want to talk a little bit about your whole trip. You did a period fighting in China. Was that for boxing or kickboxing?
Kickboxing.
Yeah. So obviously after your whole period doing boxing, you shifted to kickboxing, start training there, and you did this trip in China where you go there and you guys are like just fighting heaps all the time. How's that whole experience, living there, fighting there?
Well, for myself, I was fortunate enough to be able to pick up a contract where I didn't have to live in China, where I could come back home, see my family, and then go back over for a fight. So I picked up a contract with Lolo and EM Legend, and they had put me down for, I think it was 8 fights in the year. Or more, like the minimum 8 fights in the year, and I tried to fight every month, and which was really, really good. And I fought some of the some of the best guys, heavyweight and light heavyweight divisions at the time. The very first fight that I had over there, I got my legs smacked at the max. I come in as a boxer, bro. You come in and you think and but
and
those
then they
leg
start to
kicks,
attack your legs when they kind of see.
Sergey Masublejev, he was a really good fighter, man. And that was an eye opener for me, because although I had some hands and everything just went once he kicked my legs. I came back with my leg all black, bruised up, and I don't even know how I jumped on that plane, but it was throbbing for like 2 weeks, bro.
Yeah, and there's the other one that I heard is like, most of the boys at CKB have all done stints or, in China. Israel, Bloods, and you have Davo, Sam, and just a few more other boys.
Yeah.
Was that a thing at that time? Like all of you would do these trips there and fight, and also the other one is I hear sometimes they fight like 2 times in the same week.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Hey, you don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video. Story that I've heard you say before, or somewhere along there were a group of travelers who were on the same flight as you. And they said that they wanted to come see you fight.
Yeah,
that's pretty crazy. They were actually going to
tell you the story.
Nah, tell us the story, brother. Tell us the story.
So bro, it was pretty cool actually. It was really humbling. I had I just jumped on my flight, about to leave New Zealand for China, and as we were getting ourselves boarding, I had a group of girls approach me, Chinese girls who approached me and said, come have talk. But I was, tired, and I was like, okay, so they went back, and then they come back again. I was like, oh, you play soccer? And I was like, oh, yeah. I went off the floor. I was like, yeah, soccer. But they were pretty cool. So they ended up staying talking for a while, and then I was like, nah, I'm actually going over for a kickboxing fight, and they were saying, oh, okay, because they went over with a group of travelers. And she was organizing this group, taking them around, showing them things. And they said, oh, okay, so what city are you fighting at? And I was fighting somewhere in MA, I think it was MA in China, and then in Sichuan. And they said that it was, okay, it's like a 2-3 hour drive. We'll come and watch you. And I was like, oh, okay, all good then. All right, that sounds good. And we exchanged numbers and got each other's WeChat. That's what they use over there
in China. Because they don't have Messenger.
They don't have Facebook and stuff like that. No, they just go WeChat. So we exchanged numbers, and then she wanted to know who was organizing the promoter and all that. So I gave the numbers, and they just did their thing. So I ended up on fight night, I ended up going to the stadium, walked out of the bus, and all you see is all this massive group, heaps of girls just with signs. Oh, Carlos! And I'm like, what is this? And I'm like, wow, this is amazing. So they traveled by bus 3 hours, by 3-hour bus, just to come and watch that fight.
Wow.
And then they left.
They just came to watch your one fight.
Watch, and then they left. And then left. And that was amazing how they got their group just to, and then
the support is crazy, man.
It is very awesome. Good, and from that day, I was like, wow, that's amazing that you can have this sort of thing just from from a little chat.
Yeah,
and someone's gonna come watch you.
Is that something to do with the law of attraction, brother?
I don't know, bro, but
But tell us a little bit. Since we're on that, tell us a little bit about this. I understand you have this thing with the law of attraction. Right?
Law of attraction.
Yes. Tell us about the law of attraction and how you've used it in your life, how it's helped you, and how everything's revolved around this.
Law of attraction, I think, because I've been thinking about this a lot more now, it starts to make sense of things that had happened to me as a child. And I think when you think law of attraction, you tend to think that it's something that you generally think about, but so when I'll take you back. So when I was young, I'll take you to a story where I was, I think I was in college, and I'd sign books in my room, in my classroom. I'd just give them my autograph. Okay, hey, one day you might appreciate this.
Oh.
Like just as a kid, you know, just thinking, yeah, one day, just being an egg about it. But those are the little things that kind of just get your mind believing yourself. And I think one of my cousins had reminded me about this, and this is how I know, because she's like, remember you signing like all these, like all your autograph on all of our books and stuff? And I was like, oh, that's right. Like, damn, like that was so, like,
so long ago.
Very, like funny of that, you know what I mean? But then there's heaps of other little things that people have installed into your mind with law of attraction. I do law of attraction now so much, but when you think about so many other things that have happened to me as a child and what has led me up to it, I believe a lot of the law of attraction happens from when you're young. So let's say a lot of my mum, she made me believe that I was special. One time we were stuck at night, dark as, had my little sister in the car crying her eyes, and then my mum went outside to, I don't know what she went, the car was broken down, and then it was so dark, man, I was scared off my nut, and then my little sister's in the back crying loud as, and I'm even more freaked out. We can't get the car going. So then my mum turns to me and she goes, Carlos, I think you need to pray. I think you need to pray and you need to ask God to get this car working. I prayed and then it started working. And from then I was like, whoa, I'm special. Like something in me just changed from that day on. And I was like, wow, God's listening to me. And from then I started praying a lot more. My mum made me believe it, you know what I mean? Even if she may have just made it out like it was, you know, like a pretend thing, but I don't think she would have, because we were there for a long time, like trying to get this car going.
Yeah, there was about a struggle before that, so
100%.
It couldn't have been a practical.
So maybe I'll ask her one day, but I don't think so. But from those are the small things, like that's law of attraction working with others, trying to believe. So like for me, my son, who's 11 years at the moment, and I am trying to put into his mind that he's very good at this, he's good at this and that. It's just trying to make him realize his potential, and and trying to help him out.
Talking about I actually put it on the wheel. But sorry, talking about your son, your 11-year-old son, and he's actually quite a gifted boy, because for this episode, for those who are watching, there's a very special painting that's up there. And that's actually done by your 11-year-old son, which we were talking about just now, and which, we both can agree that we'll probably never be able to paint something as good as that.
Bro, I don't know. And this strikes me, man, because every time he paints very well. He's a very good abstract painter, but like, even this is really good thought that he puts into it. I came to training one time, and I said to my little sister and him, this is just a recent one he done last week, and I said to my little sister and him, just do some painting, and then I'll come back, and then we could see what we've got. And he comes with this, and my sister's got some really good painting too. But man, and I looked at it, and I was like, wow, how did you come up with this in the space of 2 hours? And so I'm like, man, I could never even. And like, he just come from his head. It wasn't really like just.
He wasn't looking at anything.
Anything. He was just from his head.
Straight imagination.
Doing everything, yeah. Man, so I think he's
a
really good artist. So if you want to buy this, guys, auction it off, whatever, he'll be a famous artist one day.
Yeah. What's his name? Let's put it
for
the record.
Lamont Jordan.
Lamont Jordan. Yeah. So that's anybody interested? Yeah. Hit Carlos up and
make an auction now, man. Yeah. This is selling. It'll sell fast.
Put a price in, man. Put a price in. But man, bro, it looks really awesome.
Yeah,
man.
It's basically because I've been fascinated by the moon lately, and I think the moon is quite a big pool. It's interesting. I've been studying it quite a lot lately, and for him to do that also.
Did you talk to him about it? Or?
There have been times where I've mentioned it randomly, but not really kind of just put it into his mind, and he just presented that, and I was like, whoa, that like it meant so much to me. At the time that he did it, I was just taken away from it. I was like, man, I'm gonna celebrate that. Wow. So just show it off to everybody.
Just that connection that you have, and like how he's just. Yeah. But where did this, like for him, where did painting and getting involved in arts, like How did it come about?
Well, so he stays with his mum at the moment. So, when he comes to stay with me every now and then, I used to stay just up here, actually, just up here, and I've had this massive area where I just pull out the paints and I'd leave the paint there, and whenever he wanted to draw or I draw, so I draw quite often. Oh, sorry, I'm not a very good drawer, but I like to do abstract art. And everything is just from the feeling, from the motions and everything. I just put it on canvas. So I think he started to pick up a lot of that too, and for an hour or two would just get lost in the painting. Sometimes I remember one time where one of my friends come up and he started painting with me, and then my son come in and he finished it off for him and made it look so much better. And I was like, bro, I was like, man.
Now everybody needs a Lamont in their paintings, brother.
Nah,
that's the one.
man.
We're not gonna copyright that thing. Do you need a Lamont your painting?
Lamont his painting,
That's the one. That's pretty cool,
Yeah,
man.
bro. So I'm happy with this
man.
painting.
He's a talented kid, man. I could see your kid, your boy going places, bro. Because man,
he's a very nice kid, man. He's real timid. He's humble. He's
a very handsome, good-looking young boy as well. Very cheerful, always smiling when I see him and when I talk to him. He's a happy kid, man. And hey, I mean, obviously
he's shy. He reminds me so much of when I was younger. I was a very shy kid and didn't, just everything was very minimal and everything. So he reminds me so much of myself that it just brings tears every time I just look at him and think, man, so it makes me want to use the law of attraction towards him as well, just helping him boost him, just help his confidence, so that later in life he can take that in, I guess.
Man, he's gonna be a very talented artist, bro. Like if he really carries on,
whatever he puts his
whatever that
mind
he
to,
wants to do, like, and that's the thing. Like this is just like the base, and then you can apply this to a lot of other things,
100%.
And he's definitely, and obviously with good guidance as well from yourself, and you've obviously had a lot of experience in your life, sharing that with him and guiding him. Like I'm sure you can do a lot of things, bro. Anyway, just jumping back to where we were at previously. So when did you actually, after the whole China trip and all of that, when did you actually start MMA or decided that, I want to be training more?
Sure.
MMA.
Sure. My contract with China had come to, I wouldn't say finished, because they probably would have continued on, but I guess I wanted to focus more on my MMA now. I'd say last year. So this is where I started to join the 10 a.m. MMA sessions more, and learn a bit more now. So I think it's been about a year and a bit where I've more focused on doing my mixed martial arts.
But just before that as well, well, obviously you are the 2 times King in the Ring heavyweight champion.
Heavyweight and light heavyweight. Cruiserweight and heavyweight.
Cruiserweight and heavyweight champion. And I want to talk a little bit about that, because that was in
2017 and 2019.
Yep, 2017, 2019. So this was obviously before the whole pandemic and all that shit happened, but which was last year.
Yeah.
But I wanted to talk a little bit about King in the Ring, and one of the things that I was really intrigued about is how when you fought in the King in the Ring, there were some videos on I think it might be the EMG Access, the Engage YouTube channel. I'll share the link of that as well.
Yeah.
But on some of the videos they recorded, and there was at the fights, I'm not too sure if this was the first or the second one. You actually had a piece of paper on the wall where they separate the fighters, and on that wall there'd be, you would actually draw these hurdles. So there were 3 hurdles, and then there was the King in the Ring belt at the end. And that really interested me, because every time you fought and when you came back, you kind of crossed out those hurdles. And having that picture up there, what does it mean to you, Carlos? And what's
for me, it's a visualized thing where it's, you put it into a picture and you try and visualize what you've been seeing. So I would have put that for the last 2 weeks leading up to the fight. I looked at it and visualize going over those hurdles. The first fight, the second fight, and the third fight. Visualizing who I want to fight at the times. And believe me, it happened. Everything
Wow.
everything just goes to plan the more you visualize it over and over again. But this all stemmed from my rugby career, rugby union, where I was playing for Roller Mills, Auckland, and our manager at the time had put a big piece of paper, exactly the way that was how I draw it now. Where we're in a change rooms and we're looking at this big piece of paper, hurdles of different teams that we need to beat to make it to the finals, which we won in the end. So that from there, that's where I got it from this manager who had put this up for me in the Roller Mills rugby team. So,
Man, that was pretty cool. And the other one that Eugene actually shared with us a little bit about this was how he mentioned in the when you went for the first King in the Ring, there were some maybe small doubts of winning the title. You know, you had a little bit of self-doubt in that first one, but you still managed to push through and get that done. And he shared that when you went for your second King in the Ring, it was completely different. So what changed, Carlos?
I guess it's many things, bro. I mean, the first one I had still been fighting over in China for my circuit, and at the time this would be my first 8-man competition fighting in. First time fighting in New Zealand for a long time, and I was worried, like, am I gonna cake it here? Am I gonna is everything gonna go terribly wrong? And you know, I go and fight these amazing fighters over in China, and then I come back and get my ass whipped over here. So that all those worries kind of got to me.
Pressure.
But at the same time, my mind wasn't where it is at the moment. It's not as advanced where I am at the moment with mindfulness and keeping my mind conditioned, and I think a lot of that plays a very big part in my career. So, and I've learned to condition my mind before every fight because I think it's vital. It's very, very vital. It's very key.
That's a big part of it. And he actually told us, which was really interesting. I liked how he said it as well. When you went for that second King in the Ring, there was nothing at all that was going to stop you from getting that title.
Yeah, 100%. See, by this time, 2019, I'd been doing a lot of mind conditioning. And by then I already believed, I already seen, I already visualized, I've been through the 8-man before now. And I've also had Israel, I've had Blood Diamond, you've had Dan Hooker, who have given me advice. Don't do this in this fight. Go back and recover yourself, ice yourself if you have any, injuries or anything. Chill out. But during each fight, I think on that second one, I had gone back and just because, bro, before that fight, I hadn't slept for 2 days. Like probably got an hour of sleep within the 2 days. My mind was running too fast. I was like excited. Like I wasn't nervous. I mean, you are nervous, but a lot of the nerves are like excitement nerves. It's like, I can't wait till the night get fired. I can't wait to win this thing. I want to do this. I want to do that. And my mind was running way too fast, so I couldn't sleep. So between every fight, I had to meditate. So I went back and I meditated and I chilled. I had to bring my mind back down to zero and just gain it again. Otherwise, it'd just be like, zoom everywhere. So I had to come back and condition my mind after every fight.
Talking about you're talking about getting advice from Israel, Brad, you have Dan, Kai, and all that. How has that, like, what has that done for you? Being in the team and in the presence, Eugene, Doug Viney, like all these people. How has that helped you, and how do you take all this like advice and things?
Yeah, well, I guess when you take advice, you take whatever advice you want to take in, right? It's just like reading a book. If you read a book, you want to take in whatever you learn from that book, or anyone that says something. You might have 10 people saying something to you. You listen to the one that you find that is more intriguing to you. So you're learning off everyone, but what you want to take in. You know what I mean? So you just take in what you want, what you think is gonna work for you. If someone says something to me that I don't think it's gonna work, but okay, yeah, all good.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean. So I guess everybody, you learn off everyone. You learn off everything. You learn off yourself. You learn off books and everything.
Out of all these boys, who is the one who's been giving you the best advice so far?
Bro, everyone gives so much different advice.
It's so hard to choose. You don't want to choose on camera.
There's so many of them.
You'll tell me later. But yeah, I mean, obviously with Eugene as well.
Yeah.
I think you've trained with Lolo,
Yeah,
and you've trained with Eugene.
yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I see a lot of similarities between these two.
Very much so.
Yeah, and like I feel like it's just Eugene's like the younger, upgraded version, because obviously I mean, no offense to Lolo, I'm not saying Lolo's not good at all.
Evolution.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And as a teacher as well, you'd want your student to be better than you, you know, to
evolving,
do
yeah.
exactly. And when I look at that, I don't know, it kind of reminds me of Master Splinter and the Ninja Turtles, bro. You know what I mean? And then you have Eugene, and you have Doug, and you have a few
I'm
of the
Raphael.
others. Very, it just reminds me of that, bro. How the Master, taught all these guys and then get them to go out and do all these things.
Also, Doug's also been a really good. I can say two things. That Doug's just some things have stuck in my mind. One of them was before this fight that I lost against the Russian Oleg, tall guy. I lost the first fight. It's because I didn't have how he likes to put it, the dog. Bring the dog in you.
Oh, and
so
Doug
that fight, I know that fight. I know it. So that fight, the first fight I had with him, I didn't really do too much. I was just like waiting off him, and he was taller, so he was catching me a little bit more than I would catch him. And on the second fight, he said, "Man, you just need to bring your dog in you again." And the second fight, man, I just went all three rounds swinging for the fences. It's but I conditioned myself for exactly that. I conditioned myself for 3 rounds of
absolute war.
So
wow.
That's one thing, and then another thing was nothing ever comes free, Carlos. So that's another one thing that he said, like nothing ever comes free, and that to me also I apply that to many things in life. If someone gives something to you, I know that there's never really anything that's gonna be free. So you're always gonna give and take.
I think in a way I think that's a good moral, or like I'd say learning, to have. It's like nothing comes free. And he was in a position where he experienced a lot in his life as well. And he as much as when people, this is the other thing as well, when people talk City Kickboxing, and even Eugene says this, people talk City Kickboxing, everybody usually you relate that to Eugene. But nobody really talks about Doug Viney, And
maybe they're scared of Doug Viney.
Oh, maybe. You don't want to say the wrong thing. Well, I'll tell you what. You don't want to say the wrong thing about Doug Viney.
I've been on the receiving end, bro. Honestly, and it's just like you just shut up. It's like, okay, you don't want to say another word.
If Doug gets if Doug gets angry, just look down, man. Just shut up.
You just got this.
Just take it, man. Just take it.
And clench your jaw in case you get a punch.
Yeah. Don't laugh.
Don't laugh.
Man, if you laugh, the more he
what are you
gets
laughing
angry.
at? Yeah, don't laugh, bro.
Oh man. But man, I love that guy, bro. He's a very knowledgeable guy, and he laughs a lot and he jokes a lot, but there's a lot that you can actually learn from him. And like I like to pick all the small little things from different people and learn and his techniques, his skills, what he's teaching. And sometimes like he might be teaching you, like what you said, the dog in you, like he might be teaching you all these techniques and all that, but you got to pick out this stuff where he has that aggressiveness. He'll push. And man, he's set he's set really good examples, and he has helped in the molding of all the UFC fighters here, and he has done his part. But I mean, he doesn't like to be in the light as well. I think that's the other one. He doesn't really.
just behind the scenes kind of
Yeah,
guy. Sort of
he's
thing.
he's that kind of guy. But I hope I do my part in letting people know that Doug Viney
I think that's a
is
Kiwi thing, eh? They're like both Eugene and Doug. They're just behind the scenes. They like to just be behind. But knowing with evolving and evolution, you kind of have to be the forefront just
exactly
to lead
and to share, know, and that's what like Eugene was saying as well. I think it used to be a time where he didn't really come out and talk a lot and say a lot, but he kind of understood what they have built, what the gym everyone here has built, and what it will do and how much it would benefit if he went out and talked and shared.
100%.
And it's done wonders, man. Like there are a lot, and I can say this. I think it might have been Cam was actually telling me this when I did the podcast with Eugene, and Cam was actually saying to me, man, a lot of people are going to be watching your channel now, brother. Like he was joking, and Eugene was there as well. But that's actually the truth, because a lot of people out there around the world look up to Eugene as much as, we only see a little bit, but the numbers don't lie.
Yes.
And there are a lot of people out there paying attention to Eugene, what he's doing. And to be very honest with you, Eugene might have been one of the biggest reasons why I came and started training at City Kickboxing.
Really? Wow.
Was
when did you start at a City Kickboxing?
I think it was this maybe end of 2019 or start of 2020 when I came. I moved and started to train over here.
Beautiful.
And I started training with Doug actually.
Yeah.
But Eugene was the one who kind of pulled me here.
Wow.
I was watching, obviously you have like junior, and I was very interested in boxing, at that period. I was doing a lot of boxing, and you have junior, you have Hemi and all that, and Doug. But I watched some interviews that Eugene did. I listened to him talk. I watched him do certain things, and I was like, man,
lovely.
That's an interesting guy. I like his techniques, his way of how he does things and how he approaches, how he speaks. And I was like, man, I want to learn from him or the group of people that are there. And like, I am privileged enough to be in the same, a part of the hemisphere.
Well, we're all privileged to have each other.
Exactly. And I was like, man, I just didn't want to let go of that opportunity. The opportunity was there. Yeah. I just had to drive. Obviously, I live a little bit further away from here.
Yeah. What's it like an hour and a half?
Yeah, about an hour and a half, 2 hours. So I was like, man, I am not gonna let this opportunity pass, man. Like, I was very, I was very interested in boxing at the whole period, and I wanted to, further my, myself in this, in the fight game, And hey you, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video. I started training with Doug first, and slowly I met all the other boys, and then I met Eugene and talked to him, got to know him, and all I can say is that when you gotta give respect where respect is due, and when there is greatness like still available and around you, and you can access, man, you gotta fully make use of it, and learn as much, absorb as much as you can. You gotta be a sponge, and that's the thing. Like when sometimes as we get older, we sometimes we kind of tend not to learn and be as absorbing a lot of information or knowledge. Like ego comes in the picture and all that stuff. And I just wanted to be a sponge, bro, and learn from all these different people, in the gym, the coaches, the methods, the trainings, and
culture is a big
culture.
thing,
Culture is a huge thing here. You walk in the gym and you practically like family, bro.
Everyone's just equal.
Crazy, it's crazy, and equal, you have the middleweight world champion who still talks to me and greets me, and you have the guy who might have just walked in the gym yesterday and they still talk to you like family, man, and that's crazy. I've never experienced like I've been to a few different gyms and I haven't experienced anything like that.
Lovely.
Yeah. So City Kickboxing, best MMA in the gym, best MMA gym in the world. Now you know why, right? There's so many aspects of why it's the best.
Lovely,
MMA
bro.
gym.
That's awesome.
And it's so talking about like getting into MMA and all that. So how many MMA fights have you had, Carlos?
Wow.
Well, with the first 2 or 3 that you started in the very beginning.
Damn. Numbers now.
Close
Numbers.
to 10 maybe?
No, no. I think it's been about 7 because I had I think it was 1 or 2 like exhibition fights.
Okay.
Yeah, exhibition fights. So right now we're 5-0.
Officially,
which is cool, man.
Yeah, bro.
So it's good that we could actually put that on paper now, just by showing the videos that we have online. It's just lucky that we're able to find some of them.
Yeah, because Eugene was telling us, how it's like at a child rugby club.
At a Who Rugby Club, eh? Yeah.
But yeah, man, and man, I want to talk about your recent performance at the Dana White Contender Series. Man, that was an awesome fight. But I don't know if I told you the story of when that fight actually. I was working at the time when your fight was happening, because it was I think it was during.
Where were you, on the oil?
No. It was here yeah. So. I think it might have been in the afternoon, New Zealand time. I can't remember exactly. Maybe
I think it was afternoon.
In the afternoon, New Zealand time, right? So we were at work, me and the boys, and so with some of the clients and all that. So we are actually getting ready to do like a big, not a big job, but like quite a serious job, bro. And so like we had all our gear on and everything. We were ready to go. And then like I had my the phone and the fight pass was on. It was in my pocket and on like loudspeaker, bro. So I could hear everything, because like we're having a meeting now. Like I stood like a little bit further away from everybody so they couldn't hear the phone. So I was listening, and then they started to announce, bro, your fight was going on. And bro, we just finished the meeting. Everybody's like signed on, toolbox talk and all that. Everybody getting ready to go. And as soon as they announced, I was like, I'm sorry guys, everybody, we gotta stop. We're gonna have smoko now. I'll see you in a bit, bro. I'll see you in a bit. And I just shot, bro. I just shot off to like a corner somewhere. I put my phone on the table and I started watching. And some of them were still like quite lost. They didn't know what was going on. They said, I didn't care, bro. I was like, man, bro, there was nothing that was gonna stop me from watching that video.
Thank you, man.
And so I put it on the thing, and I was like, it was quite funny. Because I actually said to the guys, don't worry, it won't take that long.
Yeah.
That was what I said. I was like, don't worry, it won't take that long.
Won't take long.
And yes, I put the phone there. I was watching the thing, and I was at 2 minutes. 2 minutes,
I think it was.
Yeah, 2 minutes or.
Yeah, I'm not sure yet. They said something like 2 minutes 22 or something.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
2:22, bro.
Something like that. But you know what, bro? Like, I had this interview before that where I said to Jeff, I think I said 3:33 or 3 something. I said, bro, I'm gonna finish him in 3 minutes 3:30 in the first round. I said it just as I was playing chess with Jeff. I said it to him like just real. I don't know. It just came to me. And then they said it after the fight. They said 2:30, and I was like, what?
Yeah, and man, when I was watching the fight, man, I was like pumped, bro, and I was watching the thing. And then that knockout happened. That was a beautiful knockout, bro. Like, and it's just, because I had that conversation with Eugene and all that when he told me about all these things. And when I looked at you walking out, coming out, walking into the thing, I was like, man, this guy has the confidence of the world, bro. And like, I looked at you, and we had a talk as well before you left for the US. And like, I knew there was something about this confidence that you had. I know you were going to go there, you're going to do it, and you're going to pull it off.
Amazing.
And when that happened, I was like, yo, that was awesome, man. Actually, it was funny. I actually wanted to see a little bit more, but I was like, okay, yeah, guys, back to work now. And then, some of the other boys were gone. I don't know, so I had to find them and call them back, get them back to work. But yeah, man, that was awesome.
Thanks, Ali.
How did you, what was your whole reaction, and especially that being like a huge opportunity for you as well? What was the experience like for you, man?
Well, bro, the whole experience leading up, man, like, definitely the 2 people that I wanted to be there in the corner, 100%, Brad and Israel. It was amazing to have them there, because in the King in the Ring fights, I hear those 2 voices. I hear them. They're loud, they're clear, and I respect the voices. And it gave me so much confidence leading up to the fight, just them boosting my morale, boosting my confidence, during the fight week, being able to not even just their presence as well. Their presence gave me that confidence. Their presence gave me the knowledge, the feeling during the fight, and there was a point there where where Israel called something out, and I was like, okay, cool. That's when I know the flow was on, and it just happened. So that was an amazing experience at all. When as soon as that happened and we got the contract and everything, that was great. But I still didn't have it was like, okay, that's good, but we have this other what do you call it? This other hurdle now. Other hurdle now that we need to get. It's like, that's done. Okay, all good. No time to celebrate, really. I didn't really get to celebrate too much of it like I would have fully wanted to, or
you didn't want to get caught up in that celebration.
Yeah, well, I guess you don't get to. You always want another competition. You always want another
the next challenge.
Yeah, not the next challenge, and I guess that just happened. When I got back to New Zealand and had my 2 weeks quarantine.
Man, which before you even got back to New Zealand, you guys actually were stuck in the US for a while, and was it a month or so?
About 5 weeks.
5 weeks that you guys were in San Diego because you couldn't come back.
San Diego, brother. Have you been to? Because you've
traveled. I have actually. That is like the one place that I wanted to go that I didn't get to. But how was your guys' experience over there?
Amazing, man. Amazing. I really enjoyed it, brother. Because it's everything that I want. It's like beautiful weather. The sun. It's always there. And I went to see the sunsets quite often, and I learned how to surf there, and I met amazing people there, and the training at Artos Gym was spectacular, bro. The amount of fighters or jiu-jitsu artists that were there, we learned so much. We learned so much over there, and just to have not only that, but to build a friendship, more of a friendship with myself, Brad, Israel, and Henry, who joined us from Tahiti as well.
Everyday champ.
Osa.
I haven't. He's that's the other one.
He's like the guy that we once asked him this question, bro. Who's the best surfer in Tahiti?
Everyday champ.
Osa. Henry, shout out to Henry.
Shout out to Henry. That's one of the things. When every day when you look at his stories, bro, there's gotta be that catchphrase there.
Yeah. He was so cool to have around, man. He slept in my bed for the 4 weeks that we were there. 4 or 5 weeks that, bro, right beside me, man. I swear, that's the thing. I had no time to myself, and that's the thing. I love my time to myself. Just to, I guess that's why I had to get out and just do my own thing at the beach, because I needed to come back and center myself after the fight. But there was not really any room for me to do that because I was sleeping in the sitting room, bro. I was in the sitting room with Henry, and we put our beds out, and he was on the same bed as me, and I was like, he got his own bed. He got his own bed from Walmart, I think it was. And then I was like, oh, cool, he's got his own bed now, sweet as. But he was like, oh no, give me so back, bro. So back. I'm gonna sleep with you. And I was like, oh brother, please.
And Henry's not a small guy.
He's not a small guy, bro. Oh, bro, and he's on his phone just talking to the half of Tahiti. Bro. Tahiti's getting calls everywhere from everyone, and then just like, oh, hey, going saying hi to everyone in Tahiti. But he was so good to have around, because it was another fresh piece of energy that you had. But like I said, I never really did have my time to reflect on what had just happened. So even when I was in quarantine, I kind of didn't really have too much time to reflect, because I had some other things that I need, I was making gifts and stuff for Christmas and stuff like that. But I still had some time. So when I was in quarantine, I sort of sat down a little bit, got to revise and reflect on everything that just happened from the fight and winning that. But then straight away, it was straight into the camp leading up to this fight now that we have, man.
This current fight. Talking about this current fight, you are facing, how do you pronounce?
Kennedy Nzechukwu.
Okay, let's say that again. Kennedy
Nzechukwu.
Nzechukwu.
I think that's right.
Yeah, sorry if we butcher
Brother,
it.
sorry.
But, yeah,
Yeah.
no disrespect there. But yeah, how excited are you for this fight, man?
Very, bro, very. Just letting. We're 5 weeks in camp now, and then we've got another 5 weeks leading up to this fight. So, at the moment, it's more about building my what do you call it?
Your weapons.
My weapons.
Your weapons.
Trying to get my my levels up again because of that holiday that we had in San Diego. Oh, bro, honestly, it wasn't a holiday. We got smashed every single day from
I heard.
From all those guys. But
it was at Ethos. You were training there every day with the guys, man.
Yeah, they were killers there, bro. Like, just amazing, like effortlessly killers. But they all kill. The good thing is they all, like, there are so many really great jiu-jitsu artists there that they're keeping each other sharp. You know, they're the whole gym. They're all amazing now. You know what I mean? And that's what we have here.
Man, they've got like a whole lot of champions as well over there, from what is,
exactly.
Yeah. And like obviously the teachers there, or you would say Professor, Andre Galvao, and what's the other brother? The one who was here, Matt, was
Josh
his name?
Hinger?
Josh Hinger, yeah.
Josh Hinger. Yes.
Josh Hinger as well, you know, learning from this guy is like, man. And I think Josh Hinger, if I'm not wrong, he just went and competed and he got gold.
He did, bro.
Yeah, I was like, man, it's crazy.
And you know what? I was actually talking to him just before we'd left, and he was like, "Oh, I might just join this this competition." And I was like, "Oh, cool. When is that?" A couple weeks, and I was like, "Oh, wow, okay, bro." And then later on, he wins it, and I'm like, "Bro, that's crazy." Crack up. He was talking about wanting to do this thing, and he wins it. So,
as you can imagine, his level, his skill level, and
but they're, like I said, bro, they're all keeping each other sharp, just like we are here. And we're keeping each other sharp here just by not by trying to smash each other, but learning and taking everything from each other. So
I wanted to ask as well, after that fight on the Contender Series, after you finish, there was that spinning bow and arrow. Man, I gotta ask, does that bow and arrow symbolize anything? Because I've seen I think there was some photos I've seen before of you and the bow and arrow as well.
Arrow.
Yeah.
Oh,
is there a story behind that, or?
Well, it's more of just it was like a
symbol.
It was more of like a you know how you play Street Fighter and then there's like at the end. Nah, it's
trademark.
Okay, so for that fight, who was the guy I fought? What's his name again? I forget. So when I met him the first time, it was just a bit staunch. It's okay, it's just staunch, and I was like, oh, okay, maybe he'll loosen up. And the next day, oh, hey, how are you? Still a bit staunch. You know, okay, sweet. And then weigh-ins, and then they started just still just being real staunch. And I was like, okay, like, come on, like, I'm trying to be kind, real nice, and you know, you can still
be cool about it.
As a, you know, you're a professional fighter. It's all good. You can still be nice, and you don't have to show that, you know, we're have fun while you're fighting. So at that time, I was like, okay, Cupid's gonna have that. That's a Cupid. That's Cupid. God. So that's.
Yeah, that's the one there. We're gonna say, I'm gonna cut that clip and I'm gonna use that, brother.
Yeah, do it, bro. Yes.
Oh man, okay. So that was so now I understand the story.
Kill him with kindness. Kill him with kindness.
Yeah, exactly. Bro. And I like that you actually said that in the lead up to that fight. So there was that video that came out, and it's just so true, bro. Like, you know, everybody wants to pull off this like real rough, tough guy image, and like, you know, in a certain situation it helps. Yeah, it sells. Okay, but you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to, you know, and
because like, I mean, I don't enjoy beating people up, and I respect that everybody's taking their time away from families. I respect that my last opponent took the time in to fight me, you know, and so I respect that enough.
Definitely.
So you know, you got to give love, man.
That's it. Yeah, man. So back to the current fight now with Kennedy. What's his name, right?
Kennedy.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say his last name because I'm gonna butcher his last name. People are gonna angry at me. But so with this fight coming up, what does this fight mean to you, and how is it gonna, you know?
Yeah. Well, this is by far the biggest and the most important fight. It's gonna be an amazing fight of my MMA career, bro. Or my career.
To date. Yeah.
Up to date. So, like I said, 5 weeks into the fight, it's more about building my fitness building my fitness, and then we've got another 5 weeks leading up to this fight. This is where the mind conditioning starts to come in now. This is where where the body starts to fail, and I need to pick up my mental fitness now. The mental fitness where I do my routines to keep myself sharp, and the mind the mind, because it's trying to keep up with the body, will try and play tricks with it. So if I condition my mind at this point, hopefully we'll get fit enough for Spider, which is never the case. You never win in Spider. So.
Oh yeah, I think it's meant to put you in that situation 100%. To kind of break you, but kind of build you up as well. So every time you just elevate.
I mean, my first Spider was terrible, bro. Did you see it? Nah, man. If you pull a video from, it was terrible. I was like a newborn giraffe.
Isn't that Cam? Cam the giraffe.
But bro, I swear, like I couldn't even hold my legs up. I was just like, oh. And but now I know that I've gotten better, and it'll just keep getting better, better. And like I said, if I condition myself during the week to lead up to this Sunday, then I should be fine. You know, as long as everything's done correctly.
Man, crazy! That's crazy. Talking about all that, you know, the mental building and all that stuff. Yeah. I see you have your diary here with you, and I've actually seen that a couple of times on a lot of, you know, when I see you a lot of times, or even when you're on the videos, these feature clips and films, you always have the diary with you. Why is it so important to you, the diary? And why do you bring it with you? And what do you write down, brother?
What do I write? You want to know all the secrets? Nah, bro. Like for me, like eventually I want to write a book. I want to write a book eventually. So I want to know that what I've felt at this particular moment. I'll write down some things that I've felt, so what I've eaten, how I felt at this point, or whatever, just random things, what I did, what workouts I did, what I did to feel better in my mental state, some kind of meditation that I would have done, or anything, just to build up to a book eventually that I would want to write. But it's really good to have this and go back, reflect. So when you write in your diary, when I write in my diary, next week I might go back and I might have forgotten that I had an amazing day of sparring, and like, you know, I had such an amazing day of so many things, and I'll go back on some of the notes that I've done, or some of the things that I've read or learnt, and then I'd be like, oh wow, yeah, that's right. So it's like you're already writing your own book, and because I like to read as well and learn of different books, and I'm currently reading David Beckham's book, and that's amazing, bro. Like it's full of many things that I'd like to implement into my MMA game, and his story is really cool. So I'm putting little things in there that you'll take from just learning little things, like little notes that you can put on as well. So you're writing your book from other things that you learn.
Man, that's so cool. That's a awesome habit to have. And like what you said, all this diaries that you've wrote over the years, you put it together.
Yeah, bro. Because I mean, like awesome, one thing is like I one time I was like, man, I can't even remember what I had like 2 days ago of eating, and then like I'll go back on and be like, oh, on January the 5th I had this and this, and I felt like this, and I did this, and I was, you know. So you can also remind yourself of your days, and your days go longer, and you feel like you know what I mean.
Yeah, I might actually start doing that, bro. It's pretty interesting. I never thought about it in that way. There was a period in my life where I actually had you know what? That's crazy.
Just the oil rigging period, brother.
Yeah. So I was on a break, and well, certain things happened in my life. I don't want to go into too much detail about that, but I was traveling around Europe and for a couple of months, and while I was traveling, I bought this diary. I was in Turkey. I saw this really cool book, you know, like a diary, and it had like this really cool like it's like carpety like cover, and like, man, it was so cool. It was so cool, and I was like, man, I want to buy that diary, you know. So I bought that diary, and it was just like a book, man. And so when I traveled, every day I'd write my story, you know, about like what I did, and a little bit on what I did, but like more on things that have happened in my life, and like you know what I'm doing now, my experience there, because it was quite a crazy holiday. So I mean, I was doing things, I was experiencing things that probably I can't say on camera, but yes, I was writing all of this stuff down. You know, I was writing all of this stuff down in the book, and man, I wrote a lot, bro. I just kept writing. So I was alone. I was traveling alone as well at that time. So it was just me, my my suitcase, my backpack,
and your book,
and my book. And you know, I was like driving around Europe. I was flying around everywhere. I was writing all these stories, bro. I think I got maybe, and that book was like, it was decent. You know, it was a decent thick book. Yeah, and I think I might have wrote a bit more than half, close to 3/4 of that book.
Wow.
You know? I just kept writing.
Yeah.
Because I was alone, you know, and you only have so much things you can do in the day. And I just wanted this time to reflect.
Yes.
And just like, you know, figure out where I have come from and where I'm going to.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, you know, how, you know, what I'm going to do to navigate through this. That period was quite a tough period as well for me, I felt. But But man, I was enjoying life. I was traveling around Europe anyway. So, you know, I was just trying to put all that into this book. And you know what happened? Like, I don't know. I think maybe close to like 2 months in, I lost the book, bro.
Oh, wow. That's happened to me, bro. That's happened to me a few times. Damn.
I lost the book, man. And I think about it like sometimes, man, fuck, I had so much on that book.
Yeah.
You know, I could have like used that to write a book, you know, or to make a book.
You can always restart,
because I think there's some pretty crazy stories in there, man. But you know, when I think about it again, like I don't regret regret losing that book, because when I think about it again, it's all up here, man.
Yes. Okay.
It's all up here.
Okay.
So it's just a matter of whether I want to access that part again. And put it in words. It's there, but man, it's really cool. So you know, talking about books, what are the books like? Would you give us some recommendations? What books do you think people should get into or read up? Or
I guess like a spiritual side. I think one book that got me started with this whole
spirituality,
mindfulness and spirituality. Like I think we're all very spiritual in our own way, but I guess it depends on how you want to be, how much in tune you want to be in with your spirit. But The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, bro, that was the first book that got me, because it's an easy read.
Sorry, what is that book?
The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari by Robin Sharma. Okay. Really good book that got me started. I'm honestly coming from Otara boy, you know, who never read in his life, didn't want, like I you know, never read, bro. I didn't like reading, and just like playing outside and just doing everything practically. And when I picked up this book, it was an easy read, such an easy read, and everything was there were so many things in there that you could learn from it. That was one book that I started on.
Okay. The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari.
The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, and then there's many other books that you could learn from.
But yeah, I think now especially, man, I actually like, you know, I struggle to like sit down and hold a book and read. So that's why I'm like into audiobooks now.
Yeah.
You know, you hear there's you know, there's some apps that have like a summary of the book as well.
Yeah.
And then I'll listen to that, and if that interests me, I might listen to the long form.
True. Yeah. There's like the I know like the little highlights say.
Yes. The highlights the book, and they'll just try to summarize it.
What app is that one?
I think that one's well, the one that I have is called
Blinkist.
Yeah, there is Blinkist, but that one was I think that was a bit weird. I used that for a while, and then I found this other one, Story Shorts, was it?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, man.
Hey you, don't forget to subscribe, like and share this video.
Yeah, Story Shorts is the name of the app. Man, we're giving like free advertising over here. But yeah, it was a much cheaper alternative. And I think I got the one where you just paid like less than $10 a month, a year.
Oh,
a year, bro. That's
nice.
crazy. Yeah, and I was like, that's real cheap. And then, so they have the short summaries, and then there's the long form summary, and then for some books they have the whole book.
Okay.
So I'll just put that on play. I'll maybe put that 1.2, 1.5 times speed, and then I'll just listen. And like when I'm at the gym or wherever, or I'm training running or or you're driving, you know.
A reason why I like to read hard copy books is because when you're reading, you're hearing your own voice, and it's kind of it's like an affirmation. Every time if you're reading, you're listening to your own voice say it over and over again, or just reading.
Oh, is there something like, for example,
that's why
like,
I like hard copies. That's why I like hard copy. No, that's why I like reading hard copy books, not listening to, because it's my own voice saying it, my own voice saying these things. But I know a lot of people do like listening to audiobooks as well. But one time I tried to listen to an audiobook, bro, and then the voice was so annoying that I was just like, shut up.
You kind of, yeah. I think you are right.
Like,
bro.
shut up.
There are some voices that it's not as pleasing.
Bro.
Some guys, it's just like one tone the whole time. It's like, okay, this person goes here and he goes there, and like you just lose your concentration as well.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And that's it for today.
Ooh, bro. They got, that's like, it keeps you on your toes, right? What happened there? Yeah, I think that plays a big part about that as well. So you big into reading, and I understand you're big into like hiking and those stuff as well. Tell us about that.
When I was young, I just loved being outdoors. So I think now it just, when you're out, I love to go out towards the west, the Waitek Ranges, because there's so much out there. There's so much greenery out there, and the energy out there, the west coast is amazing. So I love going out there, just getting out in the woods or in the greenery and just hanging out, bro. Just capturing as much energy.
Be careful, those tigers don't come after
those
you.
Tigers, the cougars. There's a few cougars there. You just go along for
bro.
jobs.
Now that we set this on camera, it's gonna be up on YouTube. They're gonna be there, Carlos, waiting for you, man. They're gonna
taking a walk.
So what day and what time do you usually take that? Do you usually do these walks, man? Can't release too much.
I enjoy getting out, bro. Hiking it's like a refreshment for me. It's like a restart of a long week or whatever. I try to get out as much as I can, once a week maybe, just to capture a different energy than the city, because you're so much intertwined in the city that you need to get out of it.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that was really cool was the recent one that you guys did. You all went out west to Piha with Woody, with Dave Wood from the Woody's Movement Workshop. Shout out there to Woody, Dave Wood. Yeah. And you guys did this program that he has. That was so cool. Man, what it looked like a
excruciating pain. It was painful.
Oh man, Dave, what are you doing? But
bro,
how was that, bro?
It was crazy. It was different kinds of different to what we're normally, what we normally do, and I think that's good, because when we're getting outside of our comfort zones, and I think we'll be doing something like that similar tomorrow as well with another group, and with this one we're at Piha and just in the water. And then doing dune sprints, and different kind of work, and capturing that energy while we're there too. And I think just being there as a group brought that nice energy for the week, So it was nice. It was nice to be there. And I think we need to keep doing that, stuff like that more often, just as a group and as a team, so we can build
the bonding. The team bonding is one, but I think man, mentally and psychologically, that has got to do a lot for you, because that's not
it's different, bro, because like our body by now our body's already broken, halfway through camp, that we're just, and then to have this extra little bit of bit of workout,
when you think about it, like, it's gonna build you so much,
100%,
and like mentally you're gonna be like it's like a brick wall, not even brick, it's like a cement, like a carbon steel wall, like, bro.
Break us but build us at the same time,
bro. That's crazy. Yeah, man. So yeah, I want a little bit on I just want to since we're talking about having that team bonding and all of that, I want to talk about I want to ask you, who are these people who've like been a massive help in your beliefs and in all that you do, and how it's helped you to grow to where you are today?
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that.
Oh, bro, this can root back to many people, man. Like I said, I mentioned earlier with Massi Sachu, he was someone who took me under his wing, and he paid for a lot of things that that I couldn't because I was still in school, and he would work and pay for my flights to go to the nationals and play with their team. And man, I remember when I was playing for school at Hillary College, we were a big team. Hillary College were one of the top volleyball schools, and we did really well. And I remember at all the Auckland and nationals that we went to play, we did very well. But every girl from every school would come and watch us play. We were the pink bandanas. We were pink bandits. We wear pink bandanas. Our warm up was to the Venga Boys, and the warm up was to the Venga Boys, bro. And every girl on every team would just come and just swarm us our sidelines just to watch us warm up and play. And
I wonder why.
it was such an amazing man. Like we all did out, bro. I swear we spent like an hour in the bar just getting our hair ready, doing everything, looking good, but that was the image that we had, and that's what we had, that we fulfilled throughout our volleyball career in school, bro. But we were known for that. We're known for that at Hillary, and that was such a cool thing.
Was this the story you wanted to tell me about the volleyball?
That was the one, the volleyball one, bro. And I'll show you some photos of our team, man.
Yeah, send it to me so I can put it in the video so the guys can have a look as well.
Just how fun. Like it was such a good camaraderie that we had there as a group, and just amazing team as well. And that's also some things that I'd like to implement to my fighting career as well. Just some different things that I want to take on. But yeah, so there's been many people who, like Massi, who have been a big part of my leadership, and for leading myself as a person, and building me. There have been many other mentors throughout my life. Yeah, bro.
Yeah, man. That's you always, sometimes you always gotta like, I would say maybe like ground yourself and remind or just remember the people who have got you to where you are, because sometimes it's easy to forget.
100%, bro.
You know what I mean? Like you get to a certain stage, and then you start to forget, like it's ego comes in, and like all that stuff. But if you look at like a lot of successful people, they always tell people, they share about the people who's helped them, and they always give credit. They always give respects to, like we look at like Mike Tyson, and for example, how he always gives credit to his to his his coach. His not only was like Castamado was like his coach, it was like his father, it was like his brother, his friend, like everything. He played all those roles, and he always gives respect to that. And it's cool, that you share the stories about the people who's helped you, man. It's awesome to hear that. The other one I want to ask about is like now that you're in, this is gonna be your UFC debut. We all definitely looking forward to this, man.
So much.
But yeah, man. And but what about your? Can I just ask, like, if it's all right, your long-term plans, man? I feel like you've got somewhere in that diary, you might have this hurdles as well, and then you've got the light heavyweight belt at the end. So how long do you think you get there, or you want to get there, or how do you foresee this little journey?
As long as it takes. I think we'll plan it as it goes, and fight by fight, because but I definitely have in my book the world title for sure, 100%. And that's that's going off the basis that I'm gonna work hard, and I'm gonna try to amend myself to make all these things happen. You know what I mean? So everything's comes down to conditioning, and trying to live up and learn as I go, learn new things as I go.
And talking about the light heavyweight division now, and everyone probably already knows you'll be on the card where Israel's going to be fighting for the light heavyweight title with UFC 259. and Israel's going to be fighting Yan.
Yep.
What is your thoughts on that fight?
Man, perfect fight for Israel. I know he's gonna. He can do whatever he wants with that fight. It's in his court, man. And I think we were doing some drills yesterday, and I'm just like, wow, that's right. This is why he is who he is, because we're just doing drills, and he was catching and doing things that I was just like, wow, that's his athleticism and his knowledge as well. He's very knowledgeable, and he's got it behind there. And you can tell his relationship with Yuji is amazing because they know what each other they want from each other. You know, if Yuji says something, he's like, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. So he's gonna do well. I think this is a perfect fight for him. This is gonna be.
What is your predictions,
brother? We're about 5 weeks. I think this isn't. Man, it'd be cool to see him do some use some jits and stuff. That'd be cool, eh? But like man, maybe like a check left hook. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because like
man, there's like you know what's the funny one? There's like there could be like 101 different finishes that you
100. Nah, it's this one. No.
Is that what? Yep. And man, like he's an unpredictable guy, man. Like, you know, you just don't know what he's gonna pull up next, you know?
Yeah.
It's so crazy. But we're definitely excited, man.
Yeah.
We're excited for your fight and
Kai
Kai's fight as well,
Yeah.
man. And like, you know, I keep telling on some of the podcasts I do, like, Kai just puts on like this fireworks, bro.
He
like,
does, bro. You see him, he just works. He works, man.
He works hard and he entertains and he puts on a show, and that guy like packs a punch, you know, like he doesn't play.
I love his two, man. His straight two is amazing, or whatever bro, he's got. It's
dangerous,
like
man. He just puts fellas out, bro, fast as well, you know.
I need to learn that.
And you know what's interesting? Like, you know, when I see you look at like Kai's fights, right?
Yeah.
And I watched the last fight that Brandon Moreno, which was the second last guy that he fought, who fought for the title against Figueiredo. And I saw like what Figueiredo was doing, like trying to push and come forward, be all strong, and that, man, I just kept like, man, I really want to see Kai fight with this guy, bro.
Yeah.
You know, like I know he has that confidence. Like Figueiredo has that confidence. He feel like he's strong, bro. I hope he feels what strong is, bro.
Yeah.
You know? I want him to feel what strong is, bro.
Walk into Kai's 2A.
Oh, bro, it's that will be one fight that
that's gonna be exciting,
man. I'm pretty sure that fight is gonna happen as well in the near future. I'm very confident it's gonna happen. I'll look forward to seeing that, man.
Beautiful.
I have no doubt in like his work ethic. You know, it's crazy as well. Yeah. And not just him, like everyone in the gym, you included. You know, Israel, Brad, Dan, everybody, man. Like work ethic is just on another level. You know, and I guess that is why City Kickboxing has achieved the success that it has, you know. Yeah. Not only the MMA boys, but we look at the boxing boys as well, you know.
Yes, bro.
Junior, Hemi,
Don't
Nuve,
forget,
you know, like, bro, they're not playing, man.
Nah.
And man, because the thing is, like, they have been under a period of inactivity, you know, like, and especially now, you know, we're really close. I think 4 weeks out to the big fight. Junior Far, Joseph Parker as well.
I'm so happy that we get to make that fight.
Oh, bro,
so
I know.
we're gonna we leave on the 28th and they fight on the 27th.
We gotta watch it on the 27th. Yeah, yes, we're all gonna be there, bro. We're all gonna be there.
Let's hope that Jacinda doesn't.
Oh, bro, don't say don't say don't jinx him, man.
No, that's me saying it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, okay, yeah. But man, we're looking forward to that, man. Like I mean, I have no doubt Junior's gonna put on a performance, and
all of them. Hemi,
Nuve,
and man, is Jenna fighting too?
I think Jenna's fighting, but Jenna's might be fighting on a different one. I think.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. And
okay.
It might not be official, so I can't. Maybe I don't want to say.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, you know, they're gonna put on a show as well. You know, I was just talking to Hemi. You know, talking about Hemi again. Like I was talking to him yesterday, and. But all I can say is just he wants to hurt somebody soon.
He has bad intentions,
Bro, already. He just wants to hurt somebody bad.
Brother, man, this like when I seen him the other day, the heat. When I seen him, it just reminded me of when I back in the days when we used to train, and that guy when he trained, man, he reminded me of Tyson, man. But every time I go, are you gonna be the Tyson? He's like, I'm gonna be the Hemi, next Hemi. The heat. I was like, wow. But it just last week I seen him hitting pads of Doug, and I was like, okay, he's back. My man is back. He's on. He's got his mojo. And I see that.
The other thing that Hemi is like this talent, right? But like in the boxing world, I feel like there's so many other restrictions to entry to a lot of things. There's a lot of challenges and hurdles even before the fight. I don't know if MMA is like better or the structure maybe. Because the best fight the best, and it's kind of like you fight.
I see.
You're active.
Yeah,
you keep going. You fight the best guys. But in the boxing world, like there's a lot of these promoters. They're all sharks, man.
It's very political.
You got so many sharks, and then it's who has this cut and that cut, and just sometimes it's like I think this is one of the problems of boxing. But like with everything, there's always all these problems. But I hope that he gets put in the right places and positions to showcase his talents against formidable opponents, and like, that's the thing, like Hemi is really talented, he's really good, but he's got to be put against real challenges, that he can showcase his skill. You bring the best and you also bring out the best in Hemi. Like,
yes.
And that's where I feel like, it's in the boxing world, it's a bit hard,
Yeah.
It's
a longer route, longer than MMA.
Yeah.
Like you have to spend about
and I think maybe the other one is like places and locations as well. Like New Zealand is not really that like big into their boxing, as like, for example, Australia. You just cross over, you look at Australia and like they're doing way more for like boxing, and not only that, like livelihood as well. Because at the end of the day, when I think about it, like at the end of the day, this is prize fighting. As much as this is the art, yes, there's arts, there's skills, there's entertainment, but this is prize fighting. People are fighting for their families, for their future generations. You want to build generational wealth. You want to do all that, and you're putting your body on the line. And fighting is a sport that has a life, a limited cycle. You can't be fighting when you're like 55, 60. Well, you could if you wanted to, but you know what I mean? So I just hope that he not just him, but a lot of other guys, they get put into the right places and positions to showcase and to, get like the big titles and stuff like that. They will. I hope, and that's all we can try to work towards as well. So anyway, Carlos, we've come to the section now. Wise words from the wise man.
Wise words.
Whew. Wise words from the wise man. Carlos, for the fellas who are watching, listening, what would be some good advice you'd
wise
give them?
Words. Wise guy. He's a wise guy.
He's a wise guy.
In life, don't judge the book. Don't judge
from the guy who likes to read.
Don't judge. Have you seen that video? I want you to put that video up.
Man, which one?
I'll send you the video and just
send
put
me
it
the
up.
link.
You know what? In life, don't cover the church by. Don't judge the cover, judge the book. Man, don't book the cover. Book. Don't whatever. Don't do it. Just don't do it.
Man, wise words. I think just be grateful for life, man. I think that's one of. Wake up in the morning, you pray, you be grateful, and I guess live a life that if you were in your deathbed today, would you tell yourself the question, what would you say to yourself? Okay, would you say that you lived a fulfilling life? I'm happy that I've done this and this. I don't have any anger towards anybody. I don't feel that I have anyone who hates me, or I feel that I've done enough in my life to have a great life, to put a great to put in in life. Yeah, I guess just if you were put into your deathbed today, that just know that when you're put in that position, are you gonna say to yourself, okay, I lived a great life. I was grateful and I'm thankful. I love what I have, and I have a great family, and I'm thankful for what I have what I've been given, and I've done a great job. So that's one thing that I read that helped change my mind towards living a fulfilling life too. Is like even for myself now, like even though I'm training hard, like even just yesterday I was out camping up north, further up north, and I just stayed at the I stayed on the beach there because I had to make sure that I kept my mind also at ease as well. So I just stayed up there, stayed at the beach there, and just camped out there. And then I come back this morning. So freedom
just to give yourself
freedom camping, bro. Nah, that's what I did. But I guess you just got to keep a balanced lifestyle, bro. Otherwise,
just have that reset,
a good balance. Yeah,
and that's very cool. Which beach and what time do you usually go? Bro, I tell you what, man, there's people gonna be taking note of all these things, man.
No, because we went up anyway. We're up north with my boy as well, so I ended up
isn't where that COVID kind of transmissions going on?
Oh, really? Up Fang, are they? Well, I didn't want to drive all the way back at night. I was so tired too, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna
camp there.
So I was like, I'll just camp on the beach. I took my tent, knowing that
idea.
Just in case. And it was cold, bro. It was cold.
I'd imagine.
And I actually seen the moon rise there too at the time. So last night was beautiful, bro. Beautiful, amazing.
You mentioned was why you love to live a fulfilling life, you know, and I think you kind of talked about that in like the wise words that you said. The wise words.
The wise words.
You know, fulfilling life and also living your dream as a fighter.
True. Yeah, 100%. Just having a balance, having a balance. Because I guess so I have my son, right? I've got my son, and I had him at a very young age, and that helped me to grow faster, and also to realize that it's not just about me. I have someone else who I need to represent or to help,
take care of,
or to be a role model to. So that took away a lot of my selfishness. A lot of it took away a lot of that, and it helped me to think that there's more to life. And with that said, I love to live my life and enjoy going hiking and doing things, but also making it happen, trying to make it happen. I won't consume myself to one thing in particular. I'll try to, like I said, if you're on your deathbed, are you gonna say to yourself, I lived a fulfilling life. I think I've done what I wanted to do. I'm happy. I won't be fearful of dying. You know what I mean? So live to that point. Yeah, bro.
Man, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
This one's a little. It's a new thing that I wanted to try, but this little game that I want to do. I'm gonna say some names. And I want you to describe the names that I say with one word. How you would describe this person? One word. If you could use one word to describe these people, right? Choose one word. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm gonna start. I'm gonna say a few names. One word.
How do you start though with those things? I don't know. What do you think? Let me.
It can be whatever. It can be whatever. Okay.
Okay.
So first name Eugene Behrman. One word.
Mind.
Israel Adesanya.
Champ.
Brad Riddell.
Giht nothing. Chess.
Chess.
We played a lot of chess every day.
Is he the chess champion?
He's the champ.
Has he played against Kevin? Kevin Giht? They might need to have a go. Okay, so that's okay. Yeah. Kevin Giht.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'll be back. Hey, he's that guy that's just like stern face.
Cameron Ralston.
Spider. You get caught in his web, he's just
Kai Kara France.
Styly. Very styly.
Dan Hooker.
No. The reason why I said it, I did one spider ages ago, and he just smashed the heck out of me one time, and I was like, brother, this is my first time.
Okay, how about Robel?
Very smart.
Doug Viney.
Ouch. Doug Ouch Viney.
Oh. Junior Fa?
Junior Fa. JFK. Yeah, there. JFK.
JFK? Why JFK?
Oh, I don't know. I just gave JF Junior Fa. Nah, I just call him JFK.
I see. Okay. All right. That's that little section that I want to. I'm gonna use that clip as well. No.
You might have some better ones other than my ones. I don't know. My mind takes a bit longer to
generate one word. But anyway, Carlos. Just last one before we go. Do you want to give any shout outs to anybody else? Any sponsors? People who helped you?
Yeah, of course. A big shout out to everyone that's been a great help and motivation and love to me, support to me, been great to me. I have not forgotten, for sure, my family, my friends, my partner, my son, my beautiful people that I meet along the way, my sponsors, Spontaneous Marketing Concepts, Musashi, and the many more that will come my way. That's for sure. Big love, big
hey, you gotta
ups to all.
You gotta hook me up with some of the Musashi stuff, man.
The Musashis, you like the Musashi?
Bro, it's pretty good.
They're actually pretty good, bro. I really, I've been having the intro workout as a lot now lately, and I had I'll bring something, bro. I usually just actually leave it in there, bro. So you actually help yourself in the cupboard. no, I'm being serious. There's heaps. There's in the cupboard.
Awesome. Yeah.
There's some in the cupboard.
Yeah. So Musashi and is a few other sponsors as well.
Yeah, Spontaneous Marketing Concepts. They've been around with me for a while. So yeah, thank you all.
Man, thank you guys for supporting Carlos, man. To get him to where you are today. Anyway, Carlos.
And thank you, brother.
Thank
you, Ali.
Before I wrap this up, Carlos, I just want to say thank you so much for your time, man. We about 2 hours in into about it's awesome, bro. Like we just went.
I didn't even think
I could,
I didn't think I could talk for 1 hour. I swear, bro, you can't get me talking very much at all.
You gotta have a skill, you gotta have a skill to get people talking.
Bro,
you know what
I swear. and these are not one of my skills. But
really?
I guess it's easier when there's someone that you
can communicate with.
I
Yeah, man. And man, I really appreciate you taking out the time of your day, of your weekend. You could be with your family, but you're here doing this podcast with me. I really appreciate it. And man, I look forward to watching your upcoming fight. But not only that, I look forward to seeing all the other stuff that you're gonna do outside of the octagon, outside of the UFC. I like to, with a lot of the people that I do, the podcast with, there are people that I meet that I know I can see certain things, I can foresee, and I foresee that you're gonna do, and a lot of cool stuff outside of
the law of attraction working right there, brother. Hey.
Yeah, man. Like I can see you, doing a lot of big stuff outside of like the UFC as well. And man, I hope to see you, in the near future with that. Izzy's gonna have the light heavyweight belt soon, but at some point I hope to see you with that light heavyweight belt soon as well. Maybe even the heavyweight belt. Who knows? Who knows? And I'm sure you're gonna be a great example, role model. Teacher for your son, who's got this amazing masterpiece here, which is up for auction, guys. So anybody interested,
he's gonna be an amazing artist. So,
definitely, he's gonna be a name. It's gonna be a name to remember. Carlos Ulberg.
Starting at $1,000.
$1,000, man. We're putting it up there already. Boom. But yeah, man, Carlos. Anyway, thank you very much, Carlos. And we'll wrap it up there. Thank you very much, brother.
Thank you, Ali.
All right, guys. If you stayed this long, thank you very much for watching. I'm sure this particular episode, you guys are all here right till the end. But,
as the surfers will say, gnarly.
Every day, champ. Every day, champ. All right, guys. Thank you very much. We'll see you on the next one. Boom.
Peace.
Thank you for watching this episode. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and see you on the next one.